family. We are at the facade, the entrance of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, Jerusalem. This is the January the 1st. January 1st, 2018. Then this is the facade, and most of it is from the 12th century. Remember that they said that church been destroyed so many times. Now, I want you to, we talked about the problematic that so many Christian orders are using the same thing together. Then let's look at the second story. You can see two windows and a ladder. Can you see it? Let me just show it to you here. The inner part belongs to the Armenian. We cannot go there, but we can see it from here. They wanted to clean the window on the other side. Then they took the ladder and started to clean the window. The Greek Orthodox came to them and said, "Who told you that the outside side belongs to you?" Because the outside side belongs to everyone. Until they figure out who owns the outside side, no one will maintain the facade of the church, and the ladder will be there. Later on, when we go to it, I will show you a picture, painting actually, from 1882. The ladder was there too. Wow. And who opens the door and closes the door? We know already. Muslims families, because no Christian order trusts the other. And now when we know it, it started to rain. Let's go into the church and let's travel at the church itself. Meeting place will be next to the exit. Don't go out if it's rainy. Be there, be next to the exit. There's only one. We are at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. We are climbing up to the Golgotha. Hey, family, say hi. And Golgotha, Calvary, the crucifixion place. That's where Jesus was crucified. Are you staying here? All right, let me stay here. Family member? No. You can sit if you want. Of course you can sit if you want. Then let's start with that church been burned down at 1808. Then everything that you see above you is new. There are two chapels here. We are in the Catholic chapel. The left part is a Greek Orthodox chapel. Strange, isn't it? Protestant. When you say Greek Orthodox, you say Protestant. There are a few things that you can see here. First of all, let's talk about me. Can you recognize that scene? Mount Moriah. Abraham, my father, trying to kill me. But the only difference between then and now is look how thin I used to be. Then, outside the door, there's another station of the Via Dolorosa. That's where they stripped him of his clothes. We cannot go there mainly because it's very slippery and people fell and there's no rail handle, then they close it, but it's right there. Straight ahead, you can see Mary, the mother, standing on top of Jesus after he was nailed into the cross. I don't know if you can understand what's happened here. The mother is seeing his son dying in front of her eyes. I mean, this is horrible. Mary Magdalene is beneath her. And how can you recognize Mary Magdalene? She is the only woman with the hair outside. The rest of the women at that time was covered. Then Mary, the mother, and Mary Magdalene anointing the body of Jesus with a long hair. Remember, special with a very expensive perfume, and you know that it was given a bottle made of glass. Right there, still in the Catholic area, you can see the statue of Mary. Can you see it? All right. When we get closer, you will see that the statue of Mary is with a spear in her heart. This is another station of the Via Dolorosa that marks the Pietà. Mary holding a dead somebody. A dead somebody, which is so sad. Then I'm sure that he's not going to do that. אתה לא נכנס לפה. טוב מאוד. תודה. I was afraid, Not that I'm blaming him. The Russian, they're coming to you for one day and they actually, they're not even stopping to eat. Then they need to rush. Then that area is a Catholic area. Now, I told you that everything that you see here is totally new, except for one thing. Look at that big mosaic. Jesus asked the God of the universe. Can you see it? I'm putting on it for the camera. This is the only mosaic wall, or only mosaic at all, that never been damaged by that fire. This is 12th century mosaic. And of whom? Jesus as God of the world, or the God of the universe. What you cannot see now is that beneath the nailing to the cross station, there is a golden table. And that golden table is a present from the Medici family in Italy. Now, that part belongs to the Catholic Church. The Greek Orthodox, although they can do whatever they want, they cannot control it and they cannot tell you what to do. But at the Greek Orthodox part, which is right there, they are controlling it. It's already happened that they did me. Because no one can go with short trousers into the church. Well, I respect it. But some of my family members didn't respect it. And because they saw the sticker and they saw me, we kicked them out and beat them. Then I'm a tour guide that was abused. Come as close as you can to here, and you can see the crucifixion area. Again, if you come here, you will see better. Can you see the crucifixion area? It's been renovated a week ago. It used to renovate it a week ago. Until a week ago, you couldn't see it. Then what we can see there? First of all, you can see the crucifixion spot. You can see the icon of Jesus. Above him, Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. Remember the sin list of Jesus. To the right of Jesus, you can see John the disciple. To the left of Jesus, you will be able to see Mary, the mother. While Jesus was on the cross, and he is on the cross now, remember? He asked John to take care of his mother. Without that, she might die. Then in that matter, I don't know if you've been in Ephesus, Turkey, but they show you another tomb of Mary, the house of Mary. Because John later on moved to Ephesus. And if he took care of his mother, maybe he took care with her, or maybe she died before. Because later on I will talk about another story of Mary, and according to that story, she died here in Jerusalem. Then now, what I want you to do, go slowly behind them to the crucifixion spot. There's a table there. Beneath the table, there's a hole. What I want you to do is to reach your hand and touch that hole. You will put your hand in the hole, you will touch a Calvary in Golgotha. This is the only option for us to do that. And now we can see that table. To the right of the table and to the left of the table, you will see the Golgotha stone, the bedrock. We saw it downstairs. It's covered with the glass mainly because people want to take some souvenirs. And you know what will happen if they will do that. Again, we are just above Jesus' mosaic wall from 12th century. Now, the way out is from the other side. Let's see. If the priest is there, because it's not a big light. I mean, you might let me take pictures. If not, don't worry. We will take pictures of that from a different place. Right, and now we do have a video of it. I will wait for you at the other side. All right? We are at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. We just came out of the Calvary, the Golgotha. We blessed ourselves there at the crucifixion site. And what you're going to see here is candles with a fire, the holy fire. Once a year, according to the Pravoslavs and the Armenian and the Greek Orthodox, holy fire went down from sky by Jesus, and the fire that you saw at the tomb, this is the most important one. And Easter time, I'm sure that you know it, this is I think that one of the few candles that you can go with it into the airplane, and goes from there to Constantine and Athens and the rest of the Pravoslav, Moscow and Ukraine, and everyone is lighting the candles from that. Then, you do have a candle here, let me just show it to the camera. That candles is actually a branch of candles, of 33 candles, each to one here of Jesus, and now I won't say what he told me not to say. Yeah, and what we're gonna do, let's turn it into a relic. Now it's just candles. What I wanted to do is to light it from the fire of the holy fire, light all the candles. And now everyone say the prayer, ask for something, let it burn a little bit, and because we cannot go with it into the airplane, then there's water there, you know what you can have to do with it. All right, into the water, that's it. Now it's a relic. Now if someone feels bad, can always ask from her that candle, and when you put it on your body, you will feel much better, of course, if you are a believer. Another thing that we can see there, and let's see if the priest will let me do that. All right, let's go there, quick, please. Until 1831, the Muslims didn't allow us, the Christians, to use the bell, to ring the bell. And then we used to knock on the wood. And you can see the wood beneath the bell, and the first knock on the wood, then as we believe from that idea. Today in that church they're saving ancient traditions, that when they are using the bells, they're still knocking on the wood. And now when we know it, let us see another thing from here. And this is a Greek Orthodox church that was closed for us. We couldn't go in. A Greek Orthodox church is remind me of Kippah. There's a wall of icon, you can see the two lights there, and there's a wall of icon, they divide us from the holy. The holy side is there, and we are the disciples. And the kippah is the wall of icons. Now, usually you cannot see the holy part of the church, but because there is a gap here, this is the holy of the holy at the church of Pravoslav and Greek Orthodox Church. And now we know another thing. This is a beautiful mosaic wall, but it's a new one from almost 2000. Not 2000 years ago, the year 2000. I think the 90s. Then let's look at the right side. You can see the crucifixion area, and you can see the skull beneath it. We talked about it. And then they will purify the dead body of Jesus. You can see Mary the mother, and you can see the face of Mary, how difficult it is. And you didn't see Joseph of Arimathea. Again, it's not the father. I mean, it's not Joseph and Mary. It's a Jew from the Sanhedrin who gave Jesus his own tomb, a believer. Then they will purify his body, and you can see that he's naked. And then they will put a shroud on it, and guess what? It's a cave. We already saw the caves. Actually saw two caves like that. They put it in the cave, but you know what's happened on the third day? They actually resurrect. The stone that you see here is actually behind me. And we believe that this is the place that the naked body of Jesus touched. If you bought something, I want you to bless it, because now it's going to be a relic, and the candles as well. Another thing that I want you to bless, if you're a Christian, the note for the Western Wall. Put it there as well, and take it with you. We're going to put it at the Western Wall stone, between the Western Wall stone. And even if you didn't buy a thing, I want you to bless yourself by touching it. Smell your hands later on. This is magic. I'm going to the other side, then do it here. No. Take it from the plastic. I mean, now we're going to bless it. If you are buying something for your friends, if it's a present, take a picture from above, print it, and that's going to be the greeting card. I want them to know that you blessed it there. It's January 1st, first day of 2018. Then Happy New Year. And as you can see, it's raining. It started with the rain. This is the only entrance and exit of the church. Family, we are at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, close next to the tomb of Jesus. We already know how the tomb of Jesus looks like. Remember the cave that we saw on top of Mount Escapos? Then in that matter, come closer, please. Now I'm feeling okay with that fence. Then in that matter, we already know how a Jew used to be buried. First of all, we know that after he died, they will try to bury him at the same day. Later on, we're going to see the anointing table. That's where they purify the body of Jesus. For me, it's not less important than the tomb, because the naked body of Jesus touched it, and this is important. Then the site is totally new, because the church had been destroyed, this time by the Christians themselves, in 1808. It was burned down, and the roof fell and destroyed the structure that was here from the 12th century. Still not the original. Why it's not the original? Because if there is a place that there is a place that I can say that this is the twin towers of Christianity, is that church. If someone didn't like the Christians, the best place to do that is to destroy it. Until the 4th century, no Christian could go in. It was a Roman temple. Then how do we know that this is the real site? This is one of the questions that you will ask me, not about here, all over. Because of one thing. For the first 400 years, we couldn't build churches. But I believe that the first disciples, when they came to here, they actually stood outside the temple, the Roman temple, and said to the children, this is the place that he was crucified, this is the place that he was buried, and this is the place of the resurrection. Then in that case, you're letting people to go in. See, I'm in Israel, I know all the tricks. Then in that matter, when St. Anne came, 4th century, beginning of the 4th century, she knew where to go. Now, what we're going to see in the tomb, there are 2 chapels there. The first chapel that you will see, which is right to your right side, is the chapel of the angels who took care that no one will steal the body of Christ. You will see there a table, and it's the top of the table is a glass top. It's covered, as we believe, part of the rolling stones of the ancient cave that used to be here. The second, and you will see the holy fire. Where are you? The holy fire will be on top of the table. Later on, we will light the candles from the holy fire, but not from the inner one. The second place is the tomb itself. It's not a big place. It's only, let's say, 3 or 4 people can go there. You cannot take pictures in, and the priest, Greek Orthodox priest, will give you something like 20 seconds to be there. Then, if it's okay by you, be with Jesus, and then print a picture from Google. It's not a problem. This is the only place that I want you to be. If you bought something, don't take it out of the plastic, just put it on the tomb and bless it, but later on, we're going to bless it again. The site itself is from 1809, and they build it quickly. And you know what's happened when you're building something quickly? And let's face it, if you are building something at all, from time to time you must renovate it. It took them 200 years to agree to renovate it. Before a year ago, you could see iron metal things that actually been there to try to keep it alive, but it's almost been destroyed by itself. Then they agreed to do that, and what you see here is the tomb after the renovation, which happened just before Easter, last Easter. We have another 6 people to go in, and now we do the second video. Until you will be here, I'm going to take a video of the facade of the tomb. This is the facade of the tomb. You can see the holy fire there. See the light? That's the first room, the chapel of the angels. And behind it, oh now they cannot see it, but you see the woman are going out, is the tomb itself. Cannot take a video of it, then in that case I'm staying outside. Behind me is the tomb of Jesus. And here you can see the second dome, the smallest one, and from the outside you can see the art tomb. This is the Greek Orthodox Church. Yeah, from time to time it's open, then you can go in. I'm not going into to talk about what is a Greek Orthodox Church and what's the differences, because that is not for that movie. But the most important thing is behind that chair table, it's a round thing. This is according to tradition, and now you can see it better, the center of the word. Then in that matter, if you go there, make a round tour around the center of the word. Mark Twain was here too, and when he wrote his book in the 19th century, he actually mentioned that the center of the word was more to there, but because the word is shrinking, it actually moves to here. Then the Greek Orthodox Church, let's continue to make a round tour around the church itself, and that's going to be for next. See, that's where the tomb is, next part. We are at the Ceramic Church inside the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Let's talk about the name of that church. The Church of the Holy Tomb. I don't like it. I'm going back to the Pravoslav and to the Greek Orthodox. They call that church the Resurrection Church, because the story is not about the tomb of Jesus. The story is about the resurrection of Jesus. Then why we entered here? First of all, because I promised you to see another tomb. Secondly, because it's a very important place. That area used to be owned by the Ceramic Church, Church of Syria, Lebanon, and they don't have a lot of power here. When that place was set on fire in 1808 and all the church been burned down, when they came back to here, the Armenian told them it's not yours anymore. Until they figure out who owns the place, it will be like that. No one will maintain it. Remember, this is the most important holy site for most of the Christians. There, and now you can understand why it was so smart of us to look at the tomb there, the Mount of Olives, Mount Scopus, is another tomb cemetery. The same tomb that you saw with the niches, with the table, and here you can see every part of the cave. Then why it's not the tomb of Jesus? Why everyone worship a place that doesn't look like a tomb? And why I worship a place that, and why not worship that place? Because this is written from the time of Jesus. Because according to tradition, remember, that was the site. But if that was the garden of Joseph of Arimathea, and they gave Jesus his own tomb, and that's why we can actually say that a tomb can be inside the city because it's a private garden. You can do whatever you want with his garden. Then in that matter, he gave Jesus his tomb that no one used. I'm almost sure that the church, Joseph of Arimathea built himself another family tomb near Jesus. Then according to tradition, this is Joseph of Arimathea tomb. If you want to see it, let's wait until the deck room will go, because we don't have time problem. And we will see it. Nice story, isn't it? Then it shows you that used to be a cemetery, and that is so important for me to tell you. But I hope that one day they will renovate that place, because it doesn't look well. They did it 2 years ago. The floor is new. For that it was sandy area. Then if you want to stand in the line, feel free. Use your flashlight if you want to see. And I will wait for you just outside. Okay? We are at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. We're now walking to the lowest place of the church. There are two chapels there. One belongs to the Armenian. The other one belongs to the Catholic. On the way down, I want you to see that on the wall there are so many graffiti of crosses. Let's face it, graffiti, it's a pollution. But graffiti from 14th century, it's history. Then let's go down and see it. On the way, be careful when you're walking down. All right, let's do that. Look how beautiful it is. Again, that area it belonged to the Armenian, and they actually renovated it. They finished to renovate it, let's say 2 months ago. Then it's looked totally new, but it's quite old. Let's go to that area. Let's start with a place that we cannot go into it. It's so rare that it will be open, and usually they're letting only Armenians to go there if they pay money. That door will lead you to the 2nd and even the 1st century, which is beautiful. Remember, we cannot see anything from that time. And one of the places, there is kind of a boat. Someone painted a boat, and he said, "We came to visit you, our Lord." It might be the most ancient evidence for the existence of that church, 2nd century. Remember, it was a Roman place. You couldn't do that. And this is amazing, and what can I say? It's not open. Another thing, before we would talk about that beautiful painting, is look at that memorial stone. It's called Hachkar. Yeah, and you can see the cross. Is that 12? Is it 12? It is? All right. Then, before we will talk about the Hachkar, wow, let me tell you that he was crucified at 12 o'clock. We are at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre at the time that Jesus was crucified. I don't know about you, but and I'm a Jew. I can feel my skin. Then while I'm talking, I want you to understand that he died now. Then this is the memorial stone. You can find it in so many Armenian places. Usually it is stone from Armenia. I'm not sure that one is from Armenia. And you can see that it actually stands on the word. That. Now let's talk about them, and you will understand why the Armenians are more unique than the rest. The one who looks like Jesus in the water is not Jesus. This is the king of the Armenian. If you don't believe me, look at the other side. You can see that the servants are holding his clothes. He was so sick, and they tried everything without any solution. And then his daughter told him, "Listen, in a prison there's a man that I know that is holy, and he's in jail because he's a Christian. Remember, it's not a legal religion. But I know that he can cure you." Then the man that looks like a bishop now, He's the one, he's the prisoner that cured the king. And you can see now that the king is being baptized all together with the rest of the Armenian nation. Then they were transferred into Christianity. They became Christians at least 30 years before Constantine did it to the rest of the Armenians. Then in that case, they've been here 30 years before Constantine, mother, St. Helen. Another thing, they used to live in that area, but because their Christianity is a little bit different than Constantine's Christianity, they kicked them out of that area. Then they found themselves another place to be, and now they can say that they have their own quarter. And in that church, you will find a lot of Armenian places, although Armenia is a small place. Another important story that happened in Armenia in 1915 is about that mosaic floor. You can see here 9 cities that have been destroyed in 1915 by the Ottomans, future Turks. This is the first genocide, not the Jewish one. No one knows about it. Do you know about it? Oh, good, because usually no one talks about it. The governments are not talking about it because of the political power of Turkey, and Armenia has got no political power. Then in that case, what I want you to remember, what I want you to do is to go into the internet and look for the Armenian genocide and read about it. Another important place that the Armenians were so proud of it is the Ark of Ararat, Noah. Used to be at Armenia, now it's part of Turkey. Then in that case, beautiful place to see. And it's not the lowest place. We are now going to the lowest place. And that's going to be the Catholic part, and that's going to be another video. We are at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre heading to the lowest place. But on the way, I forgot to mention one thing. The real cross that used to be here was stolen around the 6th century. What you can see here is the Armenians bringing it back from the prison. And they are very proud of it. What's happened to the cross today? We don't know. All right, let's start with one of the problems, water. There's no water in Jerusalem. The only spring of Jerusalem is at City of David. Remember we saw where City of David is located? Then no water. Then one of the questions is how can they actually build their houses? Then in a way, we are in a quarry. Look at that. You see that? According to what the scholars believe, the first or the second temple was built from that quarry. Now, if there's a quarry here, then and there's no water in Jerusalem, then usually they used to put plaster on it, and let's look at the plaster right there, for example. And they turn it into a water system. Just to show you that it used to be a water system, look above you. See the bucket holes. Right, and almost every quarry became a water system, mainly because there's no water here. When St. Helen came to here, and you can see St. Helen right there, the Jews here, when the Jews were here, show her where are the 3 crosses, because she wanted the evidence for that place. She wanted to see the crosses. Then they took her to that place. And what she found here is 3 crosses. Now, which one of them is Jesus' cross? She took a sick Jewish lady, and the first cross touched her shoulder, nothing happened. Second cross touched her shoulder, nothing happened. I think you know what will happen in the 3rd cross. When that cross touched her, she was cured. And in that case, That is the chapel of the finding of the crosses in the lowest place in the place. And look at the fresco of Jesus. And the fresco, we don't know it's before or later. It's beautiful. And now when we know it, let's guide, and we will continue up, and we will continue the story of the church. We are at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, very close to the Golgotha, to the crucifixion place. Actually, it's above us. But why I stopped here? Because you can see part of the bedrock of the Golgotha. We have to climb that hill to see where he was crucified. The word Golgotha was mentioned only in the Bible. No one, there's no other source who actually tells us about it. Why Golgotha? It's a skull, Calvary. We don't know. The first option is because, if it's the crucifixion area, then it's so easy to find some skulls. People are being crucified there. Another option, which I like it better, this is the tomb of Adam. And if you remember that at 3 o'clock, when he died, the earth started to shake, and it was darkness all over, and so many people resurrected. According to tradition, one of them was Adam. Then let's go now to see Adam Chapel, the tomb of Adam. But before that, I'm afraid of the priest there. What about Eve? Then I believe that a man and a woman are equal. I believe that Eve and Adam committed the same sin. Then I'm adding the tomb of Eve there too, but it's only me. Don't tell it to anyone. Then let's go to see it. All right. You can see another part of the Golgotha through that window. Here, there, you can see something that you couldn't see. Oh, look behind you. This is the exit of the Catholic church, which was closed. I wanted to go in, but as you can see, only Greek Orthodox let them in. Although we do have one, still, it's not easy to go in. Then you can see a creek there, a result of the earthquake that was here. Remember, everything was shaking here. Then, according to tradition, this is the tomb of Adam, and above us is the crucifixion site. We are going to see it, and now that group is living, and my family, you can go in. In that door, there's a beautiful Greek Orthodox chapel, which usually is closed, and they believe, why not to believe them? A small part of the cross is there, but to go in, it's almost impossible. Then this is the tomb of Adam, and you know what I'm thinking about it? Well, I'm adding Eve into it as well, but it's only me. And from here we will climb up to the Golgotha to see where he was crucified. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre, the first day of 2018, it's so difficult for me to say it, January 1st. And look at those pillars. You can see that it's different. And it looks like a mass. There's so many without any order. The church, that church been destroyed so many times, and you can see 6th century pillars, 12th century pillars. It's a problem here. We talked about the restrooms. We already know the story. That even that was difficult for us to do. And for like at least 7 years, the Greek Orthodox, the Pravoslav, renovating the prison of Jesus. Now, what do you mean prison of Jesus? He walked with the cross on, and then they crucified him. Oh, no. You have to go back to Brian. Life of Brian, did you see it, Monty Python? Then, when he reached to the place of the crucifixion, he had to wait. He wasn't the only one who was crucified. Remember, there were another 2, but I'm sure that in that area of the Golgotha, there were more than that. Then, according to Christians, mainly Greek Orthodox, he was right there in that room and waiting for the end of it. I don't know why it takes them like a million years to do that, but this is the prison of Jesus. Let's continue. There's nothing to see. It's still doing a video of it now. Let's continue to the lowest place in the church.